What up, everybody? Welcome into Lambeau Speak, episode 19, recapping the letdown in Las Vegas after a week 5 loss. My name's Nate. I'm back. It's been a little while, it feels like. Had some computer issues. It feels – I say it feels good to be back, like just to be here talking with Bobby, but I mean, it'd feel better if we didn't have such a shitty game to have to talk about. I'm joined, as always, by Bobby. You can find him on Twitter at Bobby A. Winner. What's up, dude?
Doing good. I mean, I'd be doing better if the Packers offense didn't look completely inept. I mean, the defense kind of did their job. I mean, obviously Josh Jacobs struggled all year with the rush attack, and all of a sudden Josh Jacobs looks like he's in form again because he's playing.
We knew that was going to happen. I mean, that was inevitable. I was texting a friend. I was like, well, I'd say he'd go for like 150 and 2 touchdowns, be my guess. I mean, he didn't do that, but I mean.
But the defense held them to 17 points. I mean, if you hold a team to 17 points, you should expect to win.
Yep.
It's just, I mean, I don't know what's going on.
I was texting during the games, like, I feel like there's about 6 teams in the NFL that are actually good at football right now.
Right.
And the rest are not good.
Packers are one of them.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't trying to say, we're terrible. I mean, the Raiders weren't good. The stats are like very, very similar. As far as first downs, efficiency, the thing I always hammer on, on third down, we were 4 for 12. They were 5 for 13. So that sucks. I guess before I get going too far, I do want to talk about our Patreon. Sorry, I get off on a tangent and I won't talk about any of the things I need to talk about.
It's my fault. You asked me how I'm doing, and I immediately jump into the game.
I know it's just so easy.
I know, because it's how I'm doing.
I know. Well, that's like what our my wife always gives me a hard time because it's like you're. I guess not my demeanor, but like you go up and down with the team. You know what I mean? Like, It's like, well, how'd they do today? It's like, well, they didn't play worth a gosh darn. So it's like, well, I mean, not like I'm in a bad mood, but it's just funny we just laugh about it. So you can find all our content, articles, mock drafts, player rankings, everything we do at totalstyles.com. Please check that out. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. We'd really appreciate that. Tons of content every night, every day, getting pumped out by the Total Styles team. If you're listening to us on Apple, give us a 5-star review. We would appreciate that, and hit subscribe in there as well. And last but not least, if you would like to interact with either one of us or anybody else on the team, hit us up on Twitter. You can DM me or Robbie. We'll get you into the Gilded chat. Tons of people in there talking football all the time, college football, fantasy football, DFS, just everything. Everything is there. Good evening, Pete. What's up, dude?
What's going on, Peter?
Is a great week of football. Well, for him, it was a great week of football. It looks like is that an old Khalil Mack jersey? It's hard to see. It looks like that's what that is. Doesn't that look like one? I can't tell. Looks like it's Bears jersey.
52. Looks like an old Clay Matthews jersey.
But is it green?
Yeah. Oh no, that's Chicago.
Yeah, it looks like the orange on the sleeves.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to what we were talking about. I don't really know. I'm not going to sit here and Jordan didn't play very well, but the game plan seemed like it was dog shit from the get go. And that seems to be our MO every week. It was a Khalil Mack jersey. I thought so.
Yeah.
Hey, he played well. Well, that was 2 weeks ago. We had 6 sacks. He's been playing well. Anyways, it just seems like every week the game plan is just horrible. And then, we're doing better in the second half. It's like, well, then change the game plan before it gets out of hand. Luckily they missed some, they missed that field goal or before halftime to help things out, but it's like when you play a good team, it's going to get out of hand in such a hurry, like the Lions, it'll be out of hand and it won't matter what you do. And the defensive game plan was a little better, but still, what was I can't remember the play when the Jacoby Myers touchdown, the safeties were 10 yards off the line and we're on the 10-yard line.
Right.
I don't need to say, everybody knows I hate Joe Barry. I hate Matt LaFleur. They all know that. So I don't need to sit here and just bash those guys like I don't really do. If you want to hear me really get after them, Wednesday nights, I do another show called Totes House After Dark. You're going to want to tune into that one. That gets a little more, I mean, not the, we say same stuff here, but I get a little more colorful. That's at about 10:30 Central Time, Wednesday nights. But anyways, it just seemed like the team looks flat. There's no energy. Like, I don't know what it is. I could be wrong, but do you feel that at all? Or
yeah, I mean, again, I'm going to bring it always to player execution. Like, I mean, on that last drive, they shouldn't have been in a position where Love was throwing that, go ball to Christian Watson. You had Romeo Dobbs. I mean, the ball literally hit him in the chest. And Dobbs has made some really good strides this season. That was kind of like what we kind of saw from him last year, the inconsistency of him being a good receiver and him making hand catches, and then times where he looked lost or like the ball was arriving way quicker than he thought it would. So that was kind of surprising. And then you have the other missed pass right after it, putting them in a 3rd and long, where now Jordan Love, for some reason, and this is just another thing too with the poor decision making. Some of these throws that he's making, there's times he makes very good decisions. Like, he clearly understands what's going on. He can read the defense. And then sometimes he makes these plays where it's like that final year in college where he was trying to force things and trying to make a play. Like, that was just a bad decision. Christian Watson was behind him in the end zone. You only have so much real estate between Watson and the end of the end zone. I don't know why he would think to throw it that far, because he clearly didn't lob it enough to get it over the defender into Watson's hands. So it was either a poor decision or a poor throw, and it honestly could be both.
It looked late to me. I mean, that it seemed like there was at one point, right? I would say halfway. Watson might have been on like the 15-yard line or something. You see him stick his hand up, and if he throws it right then, it's a touchdown.
Absolutely.
But it was so late.
Yeah.
And like you said, though, he's not Rodgers. We can't lean on him on these drives. Like, they had plenty of time to run the ball, and I know they did, but why is Patrick Taylor in there? And earlier in the game, I was going crazy texting a buddy of mine. Like, there was like 3 plays in a row where they went to Patrick Taylor, and he's just getting his ass beat. It's like, what are we doing? Like, what are these what calls are, like, LaFleur, what is your plan here? Like, none of this seems like you have any idea what you're doing. Like, it looks like they're just some random, like, you're just calling plays to call plays. That's not how it works.
Right.
And it's just so frustrating time and time again. It's like, I get it. They have their scripted plays they're going to start the game out with, but it's like, sometimes that doesn't work, and you got to be able to, like, realize the situation, what's going on, to not let it happen.
Right.
But I don't know.
Sometimes I wish they would do like what the Brady Patriots used to do like 10 years ago. And when they were in a 2-minute drill, they would just run all these like crosser routes, So like, you probably heard Troy Aikman on that one play where he was saying like, man, like, there's all this real estate in the middle because of the shell that the defense is creating. And he was like, what you want to do is you have this route going here, this route going here. But then he sees that the running back actually didn't run into the middle of the field. He ran out to the sideline, and he was like, oh, I don't know what play that was. You know what I mean? Like, it's obvious. Like, yes, hit the middle. That Brady feasted off of these crossing routes. And you're like, how does he keep doing it? How does he keep doing it? Well, that's exactly how he kept doing it. The middle of the field was open. They would run this shallow cross on like every other play. And it worked, because all you had to do was get somebody in the slot, shimmy real quick, create a little bit of separation, and attack the middle of the field. And it worked for them for a decade. And I mean, they just don't do it. I don't understand why other teams don't do it.
We had 2 minutes and 60 yards, something like that.
More than enough time.
More than enough time to do that.
And a timeout.
And a timeout. So it's not going to matter. I get it. If you got 40 seconds left and we got to go 70 yards with no timeouts, okay, the middle of the field may not be your friend. Maybe once, maybe twice. But I mean, that's different. When we had all the time in the world, I mean, more than enough time. You were almost worried that they were going to score too fast and give the ball back to the Raiders.
Right.
But it's like, I literally, it feels to me, and I'm no genius, but it feels like LaFleur doesn't know. Like, it's like they get so caught up sometimes. They're like, well, I don't know what play to run here.
Right.
It's like,
well, the one thing I'll push back on is I don't think that throw to Watson was the first read.
No.
Because if it was, it would have been thrown much earlier.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I think that was a desperation attempt by Love, which I mean, like it was either a bad decision or a bad throw or possibly both.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just, there's so many times you just like, it seems like you're asking, I don't know if I've said it on here or not, but like last year, talking about like with the Giants, they look very bad this year, like most teams in the NFL right now. Like I said to you before the show, I think there's like 6 good teams, right? So we're not one of them, and neither the Giants. But like they didn't do things to get out of Daniel Jones' comfort zone. Daboll knows like this is what's going to allow us to win the game,
right?
And that's what we have to do. Not trying to do all this other stuff. And I don't know if all the deep shots that Love took tonight. I said to you before the show, I don't feel like any of them were even close to being caught. One of them, Watson kind of maybe went through his fingers, kind of down maybe toward not the center of the field, but kind of on one of the hash marks, maybe.
That was really close.
That was kind of close, but like the other ones don't feel like they're close at all. No. And it's not that he's like missing him by 10 yards, but I mean, like it's not going to get caught. And it's like, when we got bailed out against the Saints on some pass interference, it's like that's what you're trying to do. And it's like other teams know that you're going to throw these deep shots and they're, trying to get you to grab on the receiver and pull him down or whatever the case may be. But that's not a real game plan, and I'm not saying, we need explosive plays. That's very important in football, the explosive plays. But when I don't know, I still go back to, like I said earlier, that it had to be like maybe the third drive from the end of the game or whatever. I feel like they threw a deep shot for nothing. And I hate getting in those 3rd and longs, especially with Jordan Love. It's hard on any quarterback, but it's even harder on a young kid and a team that, like us. But they threw it to Dontavion Wicks on an out route and we get a first down. It's like, I get that's not going to be there every time, but it was like, let's build some confidence and just like get in a rhythm and let him be able to do it and make these throws like this. And it just seems like they're not even allowing him to get in the team at all in any kind of rhythm.
Right. So I think really what they need to take a look at, because obviously the bye week is next week, is coming into this game, Jordan Love had the highest, the longest pass yardage per attempt. He was leading the league, which means he's throwing the ball deeper than any other quarterback in the league. And it's not all like 40-yard bombs. They're taking a lot of these like mid-shot throws where they're like 7 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards, 7 yards, where a lot of other quarterbacks are doing more swing passes or passes closer to the line of scrimmage, which is kind of offsetting that. So really what it is they're not taking as many layup passes as other teams are. So Warren Sharp put out a statistic at the end of the game. Jordan Love on passes thrown over 5 yards, right? So 5 yards is like what I would consider the beginning of like a mid pass, right? He was 3 for 11 with 3 interceptions and a negative 0.78 EPA per attempt. That's bad.
Yeah.
Like, and that just goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning. They need to get away from the deep ball. They need to get away from it because it's actually hurting the team right now. If they were to just take some layups, develop some of this easy passing game. Because like if you look at, and again, I'm not going to harp on the completion percentage thing because that was a whole nother topic with Packers Twitter a couple of weeks ago. But if they were to design some other stuff, like stuff closer to the line of scrimmage, some easier passes for him and let the playmakers, do their job and make a play, it would get them into a rhythm. It would build Jordan Love's confidence, and they wouldn't be relying so much on him to get the job done in his first year as a starter. That's the one thing is like, again, we have to keep reminding ourselves, and I'll probably say every single week until the season's over, this year is an evaluation year. It's an evaluation year, not on just Jordan Love, but on everything else around him, So if he's throwing the ball deep and this is the result, and it seems like this one game wasn't just an outlier. We've been saying it for weeks outside of the Chicago Bears game, but everybody knows what the Bears are this season. I mean, it's just not there. They either need to work on it he needs to work on becoming more accurate down the field, or they just need to take it out until it's more fine-tuned.
Well, and it seems like that the on those deep shots too, and there's a couple of more he'll have some more time, but like our offensive line's not blocking well enough for you to sit back there and count to 5 Mississippi and throw the ball. Like,
right.
It's like 3-step drops and we got to get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
All the more reason why they should come up with a quick passing game or a short passing game to get the ball out of his hands, to get some positive yardage, because every time he misses 3 for 11, that's 8 misses where they're not gaining any yardage.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter.
The chain's moving.
Yeah. And I'm not pointing like just us. I mean, every single team that you watch, I mean, like, and I don't know, I'm saying Zach Wilson, but I just remember, like, you know, they're on these quick throws where it's like less than 2.5 seconds. He's like, you know, the last week he was very good, but when he sits there and holds the ball longer than that, it's not good. And it's the same. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. That's how it is for anybody. You get the ball quick, it's going to be good. You know, like when you play football in junior high with your friends, you had to count to what, 3 Mississippi before you could run and try to sack a quarterback, right? Because that's normal. You know, it's like we get 2 seconds, not 5. You know, that you can't expect them to hold the guys off that long. And it's the same thing every time. And I wanted to say it last week, obviously, but I couldn't be on. We got to stop being in shotgun or pistol every goddamn time. Like, get him under center. I don't know why that's so hard for a coach to figure out that it helps a kid. Like, let him be under center. It helps the play action pass game, which we would be great to have some help with. You know, like there's so much more we can do from there, but they will not. And I was just trying to look to see like a number, but I know it's not, I bet it's 90% of the time. I mean, I don't even remember him being under center tonight. Was he? Maybe. I don't remember because I was so mad watching the game, but
yeah,
like, I don't know what the issue is there. Like why we were so against being under center. And it's not just Packers. There's so many teams in the NFL that are the same way, but it helps the quarterback, you know, and it's like they refuse to do it. I don't know. I don't think that'll change, but it should. So I don't know. There's a lot to see. I'm curious to see, hopefully things after the bye week get better. The schedule is pretty favorable in my opinion. I think, you know, I guess it just seems like these losses, and I'm not counting the Lions game because they're one of the teams that's actually good in the NFL. So I'm not counting that one, but like,
yeah, the Lions are very impressive this year. I think they're the real deal, and they deserve the hype. And me picking them to win the division looks, you know, like it's definitely going to happen. Yeah, because the Vikings are worse than we thought they were going to be.
I said they weren't going to be good. I said it. I said they weren't going to be good.
I didn't know they were going to be this bad.
Not this bad.
I picked them to go 8-9, if I remember correctly, and they're bad. Yeah. I mean, and Kirk Cousins isn't, and obviously Justin Jefferson's incredible. The rest of the team is bad.
They can't run the ball.
But actually, I just found another statistic that kind of just really emphasizes what we were talking about. So in the first half of every Jordan Love pass that he's thrown 20 yards or deeper, he is 0 for 20 on the season.
Good. Keep doing it. It's going to work.
In the first half, he's 0 for 20 on passes deeper than 20 yards. That's insane. That's hurting the offense. That's hurting the team. They need to stop doing it.
Wouldn't analytics say don't do that anymore? I mean, I'm not an analytics guy, but I feel like LaFleur probably is.
For sure.
They don't do that.
If you were to account it for any other thing that you could do on offense, like for instance, the rushing attack with AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon's clearly struggling. I mean, he had probably his best game of the season so far this season, which again wasn't great, but it was good compared to everything that he's done before it. But if you were handing it off to, you know, AJ Dillon 20 times and he gains 0 yards in 20 attempts, wouldn't you be like, hey man, let's stop fucking giving it to AJ Dillon? Excuse my French. You know, like
I appreciate it.
Right. Like I just, oh my God, it just blows my mind because we all see it. And I get it. You have to create the threat of the deep pass because otherwise they're going to load the box and they're going to play one-dimensional against the team. But I mean, if it's just not working, you got to figure something else out.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what it is. I don't know. It could be the short game. It could be quick passing game. It could be RPOs. It could be more quarterback runs, more design quarterback runs. He's athletic. Let's get him the ball in his hands more. You know,
it's ridiculous to even like that they would even, like I said, they keep trying. Like, all I can say was that insanity's, the definition of insanity is like trying the same thing over, getting the same results or whatever. Like,
right.
but,
and LaFleur even said that last week when it came to stopping the run. If we keep trying the same thing and expecting a different result, that's the definition of it.
He has no room to say that. It's just like goddamn Amari Rodgers back there trying to return punts for how many goddamn times and muffing it over and over and over. But you kept letting the son of a bitch go out there and do it. Like, maybe that won't work. You stupid piece of shit. Like, God, it makes me so mad to even think about that. Like, he's always been like that. His whole time in Green Bay, he won't make the hard decision.
Mm-hmm.
He never will. That's why Joe Barry's still there. That's why they let Amari Rodgers do that forever. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. That's how it works. It's a business. We're not friends. I mean, we are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I get so frustrated just even talking about him because I've never had any confidence and I still don't. And I won't. So, because like I said, anyways, there is some, I did see some talk. It sucks about Bakhtiari. Hopefully next year he'll be back, I guess. I don't.
Oh yeah, actually. So yeah, it's been what 10 days or so since we've been on this. 11
He
days.
just had surgery, but a couple days ago.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of news that happened over the last 10, 11 days. So yeah, obviously Bakhtiari's out for the season. And I mean, at this point, you'd probably cut him, right? I mean,
Can't.
I don't think they're going to cut him right now because of the injury settlement and his entire salary would be guaranteed and stuff like that. But I think at the end of the season, or maybe you make him like a June 6th cut, like his knee's been bummed for 3 years. Like, and somebody on Twitter's, or actually a lot of people on Twitter have been like mad at him and like bashing him and stuff. And I'm like, dude, man, he's probably going to have a messed up knee for the rest of his life. And he did it playing football for the Green Bay Packers.
It's
like,
his fault. It's his fault.
Yeah, right. Like, it's his fault, right? Like, be mad at him because the Packers made him the highest paid left tackle. Like, he didn't deserve it. Of course he deserved it. He was all pro multiple times. He was Pro Bowl player. Like, he's at his height, the best tackle in the league, or second best tackle in the league next to Trent Williams, however you want to slice it. He earned that contract and he got hurt. Like, and it's so funny. It's one of those things that you go back and you're like, man, if he never got injured, how far could this team have gone? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because when he's out there, he's unbelievable.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
so
like I said, it's like cut him, trade him. It's like, first of all, you can't trade him, not getting anything's hurt. Second of all, you can't cut him because he's a $40 million cap hit. So I mean, might as well just let him hang out. Like, it is what it is. Like you said, maybe June 6th or whatever.
Yeah.
They're just there's a lot of people that say a lot of dumb shit on the internet. So
100%.
It
comes out of emotion. You know what I mean? And it's just like,
I don't attack the guy though. I mean, I say people stink all the time. I know that, but
for sure,
I'm not gonna tweet at somebody and let them know how I feel. If they're lucky enough to listen to us talk and they hear me letting them have it and they want to say something back, that's cool. I'm not gonna. I'm just kidding. But it sucks. It really does. I thought this year because he seemed like he was excited to be back and playing.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just probably going to retire. I honestly think that,
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, right now he's saying all the right things. Like, he wants to come back. But like, after going through now, what is this? His 4th surgery in 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, how many more times is he going to go through this rehab? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he retires, but he might make it be the Packers' decision to cut him because he'll make more money with an injury settlement than if he were to just retire. So, I mean, he's not dumb. You know what I mean? He's not going to walk away from millions of dollars. So that'll probably be how it goes down. But, I mean, Devondre Campbell, this is his 3rd game missed. Aaron Jones, it seems, with hindsight, like, man, it sucks because Aaron Jones was so good in that first game and then we haven't had him since. It's like, we could have used him in all the other games other than the Bears game. You know what I mean?
Like we probably would have won at least 2 of those games had Aaron Jones been healthy.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, Aaron Jones is a playmaker.
It'd be great to have him back for week 6. The bye, I'm not a big fan of having a week 6 bye.
Right.
But it kind of comes at a good time for a team that's reeling. I think we are. I think we look miserable. It looked like against the Raiders, we didn't, but we played the Lions. It looked like we didn't deserve to be on the same field as them. It was like Giants and the Dolphins that are like yesterday. They didn't look like they deserve to be on the field.
Or the San Francisco and Dallas game.
Yeah, well, that too.
Oof, but that got out of hand.
Yeah. But it's just like this is a good time for it. Step back. LaFuck can try to figure something out.
I will be putting the E tag on the podcast.
Yeah, we won't figure it out, but we can try. Yep. It's just frustrating. But what I said, it comes at a good time. Get some guys healthy. Elton Jenkins is back tonight. I wasn't even focused on watching him because I was too pissed off about us throwing it deep every time. So, but good time. I did see. I think the Broncos are going to be selling guys because they really stink. Their left tackle, I want to say it's Garrett Bowles, but that's not his name, is it?
Yeah, no, it is.
Something about selling him. I think somebody mentioned. I read an article. I don't remember who it was by, but talking about trying to get him for a left tackle for us. That'd be, he's like a year younger than Bakhtiari, but he's been healthy. So, yeah. I think
let me ask you this. Would you even want him? I mean, think about it. Like any veteran that's like an aging veteran, right? Like you said, he's a year younger than Bakhtiari, but remember, this is supposed to be an evaluation year, right? The whole reason we didn't sign a veteran wide receiver, the whole reason we didn't sign a veteran tight end was to let these guys develop, and they're only going to develop by playing. Yeah, they're going to lose. You know what I mean? But hopefully it's a learning experience and they can build on it and then be better for next year. Right?
It's tough. That's kind of like either way. The one thing, the offensive line needs help, and with them playing poorly, Jordan's going to play poorly. So it's it's hard to evaluate, and then you don't get a real taste. But I mean, I don't like Garrett Bowles isn't the kind of guy that's going to it's not like you're bringing in Trent Williams. You know what I mean? He's just better than what we have. So I don't know if that'll, I think they should go get Jerry Jeudy. That'd be cool. They're going to trade him anyway. So
why not, Judy's young, you know what I mean? That makes sense. You know what I mean? Or grabbing another player that maybe is in their mid-20s that isn't on the last year of their deal of their contract or something that makes sense to me.
I think what I read about the Broncos was the only player that is off limits is Pat Surtain, which makes sense. But they got some dogs too that. And they're not the only team, but I don't know. I feel like the Packers aren't going to be really selling anybody. It's not like they have anybody worth selling. Unless someone wants Aaron Jones, it sucked to get rid of him, but if you get something for him, I mean.
And honestly, it's not ideal. He's been hurt for the last 4 weeks.
Exactly.
So yeah, it just seems like all of our best players, like Bakhtiari, you can't trade him because he's clearly hurt, and it's been year after year after year.
Before I forget, shout out to Josh Nyman for tipping that field goal.
Yeah,
I can't. Yeah, I when they watch your place, little boy's got some hops, man. I can't believe that our right tackle or our swing tackle was the one that tipped that field goal. I was laughing so hard. I was like, I guess that was the high point of the game for me. Him and Dirk.
It's funny that you mentioned Yash because that was actually literally going to be the next thing I spoke of. I mean, Walker, he had a good game, and then it seems like ever since the New Orleans game that he's been struggling. So, I mean, look, he's a 7th round pick. It's his 2nd year. It's his first time actually seeing the field in an NFL game this season. Yash is experienced. He's been on this team for 4 years now. He's played in some big spots. He's played in playoff games. Why don't we just put Yash at left tackle? And like you said, you can't really evaluate Love if he's, on the ground or being pressured all the time. But I mean, Yash is still on the team. It's the last year we have him on the team. You might as well use him. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you think?
He's to me feels like Yash is if he's somebody that we can move for some capital.
Right.
I do.
We were saying that before the season.
I just don't feel like he's one that we're going to try to build around. You know what I mean? He's been
agree.
Good, but if you can get a 3rd round pick for the kid, which you can't, 4th round pick, maybe, that I'd be in on that. Like I said, he's played well, but again, we're not building the line around him. So, I'm kind of impartial to it, I suppose. So,
yeah.
But
well, I mean, do you think Walker's going to be the left tackle of the future?
No.
So who cares about pulling him out? Put Yash in. If Yash is 15% better than Walker, play Yash, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If Walker's not your future left tackle, which who knows, they may think that he might be. Clearly he made a very big year 2 leap because he was basically non-existent in year 1. Most people didn't even know he was on the team. He was a 7th round pick. You know what I mean? Granted, he was good in college. You know what I mean? Like he just slipped to the 7th round. And for the life of me, I swear, I always keep telling myself, you got to look into why he fell into the 7th round. But I don't remember. And I mean, Yash has played well in multiple games over a number of years. I mean, he wasn't perfect. If he was, he'd be our starter right now. But I feel like he'd probably be a better left tackle right now.
I don't see why not. I mean, hell, I don't know why Elton Jenkins isn't playing left tackle myself, but whatever.
Well, I think because the last time Jenkins was playing tackle, it didn't really go well.
Yeah.
And they because he had a couple of really good games at tackle. I think what was that, his second year?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing like every position that year, and he looked like unstoppable at any position they put him at. But he did kind of like start to I don't know. I guess regress isn't the right word, but I feel like his best spot is at guard.
Yep,
or maybe even center. But yeah.
Anyways, well, you got anything else?
I don't think so, man. We got a bye week. They have a lot to figure out. And honestly, at this point, I really didn't think I'd be saying this, but I think they have more to figure out on offense than they do on defense. We came into this first couple of games that we were like, the defense. And it's like, no, man, the offense is a bigger problem right now. They held the Raiders to 17 points. You should have won that game.
Not that the defense is like where it should be, but they were able to get pressure, which was nice tonight. But Quay Walker got hurt. Hopefully he'll be back in 2 weeks.
But they had 3 interceptions on offense.
Yeah.
And only let up 17 points.
Yeah.
I got to give them credit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they played well.
They did. The offense just did not hold up their end of the bargain, man. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, they need to sit back and figure out what is working, what isn't working. They need to figure out where Jordan's comfortable, where he isn't. And they need to start changing. Like you said, they need to come up with a better game plan to focus on Jordan Love's strengths and not focus on what Matt LaFleur feels like calling.
Yeah. Yep. Doesn't seem that hard.
No. Give me the play call sheet. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Give me like 4 plays. That's all I got for you, dude.
I'd be rolling shallow cross like every other play.
Yeah. Flea flicker is also going to be in there too.
Absolutely.
We're throwing that in there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully in 2 weeks when we play I just forgot we play in 2 weeks. Doesn't matter. Hopefully we'll fare a little better that game. So like I said, lots to figure out. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Check out our website, toiletstitles.com. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/toiletstitles. I'm getting ready to record a waiver wire episode just for the Patrons. It gets released later tonight. So, that's something worth the $1.50 a month for that if you're into fantasy football. So the ones that are Patrons, we do appreciate the hell out of you. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on. If this is listeners on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, 17 shows a week, which is a ton of great content. So check it all out. Yeah, we'll see you in a couple weeks. And thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.
Packers at Broncos. It'll be a get-right game coming out of the bye. Go, Pack, go.
Yeah, we'll beat the shit out of them. They stink.
Hopefully.
Have a good night. See you guys.